You filled out the application, the apartment, the card, the loan. You were sure. You had a job. You paid your bills on time. You sat with the pen and you did everything right. You signed your name. You waited, and days later it came. One word. Denied. No reason, no explanation. Just a thin envelope and a sentence that did not bother to explain itself. Somewhere, a 3-digit number you have never seen decided you were not good enough. Nobody will tell you what it is. Nobody will tell you how it works. It was in the room. You were not. And you cannot know yet what it actually feels like to climb all the way to a perfect one. That is the whole story. 5 levels. From a stranger the system would not touch to a stranger it trusts completely. And nobody tells you the strange part. The levels do not pay you more as you climb. They pay you less. The reward gets quieter. The version of you at the top will sit on the edge of a bed and wait for a feeling that never comes. He will look at a perfect number, and he will feel nothing at all. The number runs from 300 to 850. 850 is perfect. Almost nobody gets there. The ones who do learn something nobody warned them about. That is why you are here. This is the climb, and what the system charges you at every floor on the way up. Level 0. No score. You are young. You have never borrowed $1. You paid cash for everything, the way your father taught you, the way it felt responsible to do. You sit across a desk from a leasing agent named Donna. Donna runs your name. Donna frowns at her monitor. You will remember that frown for years. She says, "I'm not seeing anything here." You think that is good. You think nothing means clean. It does not mean clean. To the system, nothing means you do not exist. There is no file. There is no number. You are a stranger who walked in off the street. You are asking to be trusted. And trust, to this system, is not a feeling. Trust is a record. You do not have one. Donna asks for a cosigner. She asks for first month, last month, a double deposit. She asks for 3 months of bank statements, a letter from your employer on letterhead. You give her all of it. You feel the heat climb into your face, the specific heat of being made to prove you are not a thief, while you are doing nothing but trying to hand someone money. You are paying, in paperwork, in cash held hostage, the price of having no number at all. That night you read your first denial letter, a card company, a thin envelope. You already know what thin means before you open it. We are unable to extend credit at this time. There is a box you can check to ask why. You do not check it. You already know why. You have no number, and a person with no number to this system is a name written on water. You are not a good risk. You are not a bad risk either. To the system, you are simply not yet a person. Level 1. Subprime. Around 550. You build a number the fast way, the wrong way, a card with a $49 fee and a limit of $300. You miss a payment in the spring. The autopay was set to the old account. You miss another that summer. A medical bill goes to collections, $412, an amount you did not know you owed, sent to an address you left 2 years ago. The number that gets built is 548. Here is what 548 costs you. You buy a used car, $14,000. The salesman runs your number. He comes back with a rate, 19.9%. Across the loan, you will pay almost $6,000 in interest on a $14,000 car. The person who buys the identical car off the identical lot that same afternoon with a number 200 points higher pays under 900. Same car, same lot, same salesman. A difference of more than $5,000. You will never meet that person. You will never know their name. The number knew it before either of you walked in. The number decided. The salesman just read it off the screen.
You drive the car off the lot. It smells like the spray they use to make a used car smell new. You do the math at a red light. The 19.9% sits on top of the car like a second car nobody let you see. Every month for 5 years, a piece of your payment goes nowhere. Not to the car, not to your life. It goes to a price the system set, on the single fact that you started late. At this level, you are not a customer the system wants. You are a risk it agreed to take, at a price built to make your failure profitable. This is where you meet Marcus. Marcus is your coworker. He sits one row over. He lives the exact life you live. Same job, same salary, same apartment complex 2 buildings down. Same secondhand furniture, same takeout on Thursdays. You and Marcus are, on paper, the same man. Except Marcus has a number of 740. You have a number of 548. And that single fact bends 2 identical lives in opposite directions, like light through different glass. Marcus pays $400 a month less than you on the same car. Marcus pays $90 less for the same renter's insurance. Because the insurer is allowed to price you by your number too, a thing you did not know, a thing nobody ever sat you down to explain. Marcus got approved for his apartment over the phone. 9 minutes. While he was making coffee, Marcus put down a utility deposit of 0. You put down 400. You waited 6 weeks to get it back. Marcus has never once read a denial letter. He does not know the envelopes are thin. None of this is because Marcus works harder than you. He does not work harder than you. You have watched him not work harder than you for 3 years. Marcus has a better number. And a better number, it turns out, is a quieter life. And here is the figure that should stop you cold. Run it across a working life. The car loans, the mortgage you will carry, the cards, the premiums, the deposits, the higher rates compounding quietly under all of it, for 40 years. A person who lives an entire life at a subprime number versus the identical person who lives it at a good one pays around $201,000 more. For the same houses, the same cars, the same coverage. $201,000. That is a paid-off house. That is a child's entire college. That is the down payment, the wedding, the retirement cushion. Gone. Never spent on anything you can hold. Paid instead as a tax, on a number you were never shown, never taught to read. You sit with that. Marcus, 2 buildings down, has never had to. Level 2, near prime, around 650. You climb. You set the autopay right this time. You pay the collections account. You call. You ask, in a voice that shakes a little, whether they will remove it now that it is paid. A woman named Yvette says she can mark it satisfied. She cannot remove it. You thank her anyway. You have learned the system rewards the patient. It punishes the proud. The number climbs to 651. It takes 14 months. You feel it climb. You check it on a free app at night, the way you would check a wound, to see if it was closing. 651 gets you approved. Not courted. Approved. The car rate drops to 11%. The apartment stops asking for a cosigner. The offers in the mail change tone. The desperate ones with the $49 fees stop coming. The indifferent ones arrive instead. No fee. No reward either. You open one over the kitchen trash. For the first time, it does not say no. It says you may qualify. You may. The system moved you from a sentence to a maybe. And a maybe, after 3 years of thin envelopes, feels like a hand reached across a table. You keep paying. You keep the balances low. You learn the small, private rituals of a person managing a number. You move a payment 3 days early. You do not trust the date. You never let the statement close above a third of the limit. You check the app on the 1st of the month, the way other people check the weather. At this level, you are not a problem to the system anymore. But you are not yet an opportunity. You are a maybe, an account the system will service, but will not chase. Level 3, Prime, around 700. 704. This is the number where the doors stop being heavy. You feel it before you see it. The phone calls get returned faster. The forms get shorter. The questions stop being whether. They start being how much. Somewhere between 600 and 700, with no single moment you can point to, you stopped being a person the system inspects. You became a person the system processes. And processing, you discover, is its own kind of mercy. You buy a house, a small one, a starter, 2 bedrooms, a yard the size of a parking space, a street where the neighbors wave. The mortgage broker runs your number. She does not frown. She smiles. A small, professional smile. The smile you have learned to read as the system letting you in. She says, "You're going to be fine. Your rate is 6.1%. Marcus, with his 740, 2 buildings down, bought a nearly identical house that same spring. His rate was 5.8, 0.3%, on a $300,000 mortgage over 30 years. That 0.3 is roughly $19,000. Still, even now, even prime, the number is still charging you the difference between you and Marcus, just in smaller bills. But the letters have changed. The ones that used to say, "We regret to inform you," the denials you stopped opening because you already knew. Now they say, "Congratulations, you have been pre-approved." Same envelope, same window, same paper. The only thing that changed is which sentence is printed inside, and the sentence is chosen by the number. At this level you are, for the first time, a customer the system wants to keep. You crossed a line, from being priced for your risk to being courted for your business. Level 4, the high 700s, around 780. Now the system starts sending people to find you. 782. You did not ask for this. The offers come unbidden. The card with the lounge access, the travel credit, the one with the metal weight to it that lands on the desk with a sound the plastic ones never made. The bank assigns you a person, a man named Daniel. He emails you about a line of credit you did not request. A rate on a refinance that is genuinely, measurably good. You pay less for everything. And you barely notice anymore. Because the savings have stopped being dramatic. The difference between 780 and 700 is real, but quiet. A better card, a slightly better rate, a waived fee here, a higher limit there. And this is the first time the climb starts to feel strange, because the harder you work to push the number up, the less each point gives you back. You are sprinting now, for inches. You move a balance, you wait a cycle, you watch the app. The number ticks up 4 points. And 4 points buys you a waived fee you would not have noticed if the email had not told you to. You keep climbing anyway. You have always been a person who finishes the thing he started, even after the thing has stopped being worth finishing. At this level, you are no longer being priced, you are being pursued. The system has decided you are worth keeping, and it competes, mildly, for the privilege. Level 5, 850, perfect. You get there years later, not through some final brilliant move, through 17 years of nothing going wrong. Every payment on time, every balance low, every account old and quiet and boring. Perfection, it turns out, is not an achievement. Perfection is the absence of a single mistake across half your adult life. The app shows it one night. 850. A small animation. A little burst of confetti the app designers added, because they knew the moment would otherwise feel like nothing. It feels like nothing. You sit on the edge of the bed, the phone in your hand, the little confetti settling, and you wait for the feeling to arrive, the way you waited for the number to feel like a milestone, and it never did. You set the phone face down on the nightstand. The room is quiet. The number is perfect. Nothing in the room is different than it was a minute ago. You wait for the door that opens only at 850. There is no door. You go looking for the rate that exists only at perfect. It does not exist. The mortgage you would get at 850 is the same mortgage you would get at 800, and at 760, and very nearly the same as at 740. The number Marcus had the whole time. The number he reached without ever once thinking about it. The number he carried the way you carry your own eye color, without effort, without noticing, without ever having had to earn it back from a mistake. The difference between a good score and a perfect one, in dollars, across your whole remaining life, is almost nothing. A few hundred, maybe less. You climbed for 10 years, to reach a place the system stopped paying out at long before you arrived. The reward curve flattened around 760. And you kept running anyway, because the number was visible, and you wanted it whole, the way you wanted everything whole. And nobody told you the prize was never at the top. The number was never the prize. The number was the toll, and the toll stopped going up while you were still climbing. You think about the denial letters from the bottom, the ones you stopped opening. You think about the pre-approval letters now. The ones you also stop opening, for the opposite reason. Same envelope, same window. You spent 17 years getting from one kind of unopened letter to the other, and you understand, finally, what the number actually measured. It never measured whether you were good. It never measured whether you were responsible, or smart, or worthy of trust. It measured one thing only, the same thing at every floor. It measured how cheaply the system was willing to lend you the thing you could not yet buy with cash. At the bottom, it lent expensively. At the top, it lent cheaply. That was the whole machine. That was all 850 ever bought you. At the start, you were a stranger the system would not trust. At the end, you are a stranger the system trusts completely. And the difference between those two strangers is not who you became. It is only what you were willing to pay, for 17 years, to be believed. Somewhere right now, someone is opening a letter they are afraid to open. They are sitting at a kitchen table with a thin envelope in their hands. They think the number is the prize. They do not know yet what it costs. They will learn. They always do. The system does not stop pricing you. It just finds the next one. Their envelope is thin. They already know what thin means. It always starts there. It always will. The number does not measure whether you are good. It measures how cheaply the system will lend you your own life back. And the person who climbs the whole way only learns that at the very top, holding a perfect number, feeling nothing at all.